Okay, cool. So it's live on YouTube now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I sent everybody the document I'm gonna be using, so you don't have to worry about like writing down too much notes because I did most of the note taking for you. Any other notes that you want to take, is cool. Just make sure that it doesn't distract you from tapping in. All right, if you guys could mute the mic. Okay, there we go. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, here we go. So I'll go ahead and start with how this document works, so you can always have access to it. So this link I sent everybody, you'll always have access to it. All right. So obviously it has a date, it has a time, the topic. Obviously, I'm presented a link, and here the presentation notes. All right. So I'm gonna start off with my storyline, monetize my social media since 2008, what I do now, and I'm gonna go over the six like core frameworks of monetization online. All right. The walking billboard play, the story time play, the digital product play, referral, broker, and the community play. Those are the six major plays when it comes to monetizing your presence online. But the walking billboard play is crucial because we talk about how to monetize your lifestyle, your day to day. All right. So let's go ahead and start with the storyline. All right. So as you guys have probably followed, I got into the online game in 2008 via MySpace and YouTube. And I'll go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys the story. I'm gonna show you all the receipts for everything, so you guys can see the visuals as well. So when YouTube first went public, I think it was in 2004. I created my account, Dr. Buck, and I learned, as you can see, one of my first videos posted was 17 years ago. So it had 5.8 million views. One of my videos had 1.6 million views 17 years ago, y'all. And this is before the term influencers were coined, viral was coined, social media, all these terms weren't coined at this time, right? All I knew was something that's always existed, which was entertainment, impact, inspiration, and identifying how to exchange value, right? So I learned this early, 17 years ago. I was born in 1990. Um, this 2008, I was 18 years old, y'all. 18. So that means I didn't take a course to learn this stuff. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a trainer. By God's grace, I was born in the right age, the digital wave, and I noticed trends and I tapped into it because one of my personality traits is high level observation, right? I wasn't the first to do things, but I caught on really quickly and did things at an elevated level. So from this video, I'm gonna tell you all the backstory from this video and how I monetized it. So I noticed that obviously music was really key for people's MySpace pages, right? They all wanted to have a song on their MySpace page, and one of the trends that blew up was speeding up the song and it sounded like a chipmunk. So what I did was I found some of the top songs, and I used a program called, I forgot what it's called, GarageBand, sped up the songs and uploaded it to YouTube. Most people are just uploading it directly to MySpace, but I uploaded it to YouTube. And whenever somebody searched chipmunk song, I was able to leverage the search engine. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to have any followers because a lot of times through this conversation, people are gonna ask you, are gonna ask the question, well, I don't have all these followers, so how am I gonna monetize my business, my brand, my page, all that? Trust me, you leverage other people's networks, OPN, other people's networks. So I leverage YouTube's algorithm, search algorithm, to get 5.8 million views. Okay. So the question is, how did I turn this into money? How did I monetize it? Because YouTube wasn't having no payouts back then. They didn't have no creators program. They weren't giving out plaques. So how did I make money? I didn't make money directly. I made money indirectly. As you can see on the video, what did I tag? I think it's when I was 18. I didn't even, I'm like, as I look back in my past, I'm like, yo, I was really doing all this stuff. Right? It's not to boast, it's to realize there's a system, a method, a fundamentals that still exist today. So what I did was I tagged my videos. So when people saw the video, what do? They went to my Instagram page. I mean, in this case, my MySpace page. Right? So on my MySpace page, there was no influencer programs. There was no brand ambassador program. So how would I monetize it? At the time, I was selling candy. That was my nickname, the Candy Man, in high school. If you know, you know. As you can see, my MySpace name was Candyman23. So all the attention I was getting from the YouTube transferred to the people following me on MySpace, which built my social influence to when I went to school, people would say, oh man, I see your video all over the internet. And guess what I did? Presented my offers. I was selling candy. So now, because my social online digital footprint was increasing, it was increasing my physical footprint, allowing more people to pay attention to me. And then I have to do the necessary work and do what? Make an offer. Luckily for me, I had an offer at that time, even at the age of 18, right? Right when I graduated high school. So that's the first part. So let me look at the camera when I say this. Everything I'm about to share with you guys, there are going to be common themes and principles. Please do not allow your current circumstance and your current mindset to whisper in your consciousness that you can't do this. Maddie is an anomaly. Maddie is special. You can't do this. Don't allow that to be whispered in your ear. I promise you. Like, I really believe that I'm not, what's the word? I don't want to say I'm lazy. It's just I look for ways not to have to do work. A lot of people do way more work than me, way harder than me. I do not wish that on any man, which is why I still have these classes, because I don't want to see people doing way more work than they need to. A lot of people are on social media way more than me, making less. A lot of people have more followers than me, making less. A lot of people are doing a lot of things, making less. It's all because we're not following some of the principles I'm going to be sharing on this call. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna go back to the YouTube so we can get this case study. All right. So we learned how I monetized it indirectly, right? So once I start to realize what's working, what's not working, what's getting attention, another thing that went viral was lap dance videos. I'll say that. I used to do lap dance videos because at the parties I threw after I graduated, after I graduated out of high school, y'all, I had a love for dancing and going to parties. And when 12 o'clock hit, the DJ would slow it down. And when they put the Dougie no more, we weren't doing the chicken head no more. Whatever dancing, we were doing lap dances because we were playing Pretty Ricky, Trey songs, whatever songs they were playing that slow down. We had to figure the dance play out, and that's what I did. And it blew up to the point where people were recording it, and then we were uploading it to YouTube, and it was going viral. All right. How did I monetize these viral dance videos? Again, it wasn't in this case directly, it was indirectly. Indirectly, again, social proof, social influence, social clout raised, and allowed me to invite more people to the parties. At this time, I was getting paid $5 for every person I invited to the party. So if you came to my YouTube page and then my MySpace, and then on my MySpace, you saw my party flyer that said, say Candyman at the door when you get there, and then 100 people show up and they all say my name, that's $500. That promoters in LA, the Valley, and Hollywood utilizing social media, while all the other promoters were just passing out flyers, right? They're spending a lot of time. They weren't leveraging their digital assets at all. So I'm monetizing and leveraging. This is very key. All right. So I've been doing this for years unknowingly. This wasn't no intentional plan where I woke up, I figured it out. I know how to monetize. That's not the case. It was organic because it was simple. Provide value, gather attention, and align it with something that you already do. That's the key. A lot of people do a lot of things that aren't aligned with their day-to-day life. I just kept things, I'm really big on doing things I like to do. I like to listen to music. I like to edit. Alignment. I like to dance and go to parties. Alignment. Everything was in alignment. All right. And that story goes to there's I can talk for hours on this story, but you guys get my point on the storyline. So I shared that to share the history. 2008. All right. This is when things went to the next level. I leveraged my influence, my knowledge, my experience, and my skills for the next platform. MySpace died out. The iPhone came out 2007, but it started to really make waves when it comes to its attachment to social media and apps in 2009. And that's when Twitter came out and blew up. So everything I learned as far as creating value, I did it on Twitter. All my tweets were funny, educational, or empowering, because those things were valuable to me. So the beautiful thing about Twitter is the more tweets you sent that was funny or entertaining or whatever case may be, people would do what? Retweet it. And guess what that means? Other people's networks get to see your content. So the better your content, the more people will see it. I learned that 2009. I doubled down and made sure that I'm doing this on a consistent basis. I'm not tweeting what most people were doing, which was random thoughts out of nowhere, right? Random thoughts are cool if it's tied to a cool story, a cool moment, whatever the case may be. But I was way more intentional in doing what? Providing value. The more value, the more eyeballs, the more potential followers, right? So I didn't know exactly how to monetize this outside of indirectly, which was show people my flyers, my digital services, and invite them to parties until a company called My Likes reached out to me. So for those who don't know, My Likes is a company that basically brokers deals between influencers and big budget companies. For example, if the movie Lion King, I'm just making up, came out and Disney they had a $100,000 budget to promote their new movie using Twitter. My Likes will be the broker. Lion King or Disney, whatever corporation, will pay My Likes to distribute $100,000 to the top influencers on Twitter. Luckily for me, I was positioned as a top influencer to the point where I was creating a lot of the trending topics. My Likes reached out to me and said, we'll pay you 10 cents for every person who clicks this link to go watch the trailer for Lion King. I said, say less. I signed up. I posted a link. I'm getting thousands of people clicking this link because I'm promoting something that people would watch anyway, that I would share anyway. So you guys can see, here are some of the I had PayPal from 2010 to 2014. This is what my payouts was looking like on a daily basis. I'm 19, 20 years old, making payments like this. As you can see, I was making $14,000 a week, sometimes $20,000 a week as a 19-year-old. I'm 35 now. All right. I didn't even know what to do with my money. I was making that much money. All right. I don't want to get into that story, but I ended up moving to West Hollywood by the Beverly Center, like Beverly Hills area. I ended up leasing an office that I lived out of and built it out from scratch to create my HQ, my headquarters. And then I start scaling by creating multiple Twitter pages, not just mine. I said, okay, if this is working for one page, imagine how much money I'll make if I create amazing content, niched pages, and I multiply it. And that's what I did. That's actually how me and Spectacular became best friends. Me and Spectacular created a company where we created parody pages. We'll create a Charlie Sheen page and we'll tweet like we're Charlie Sheen, funny stuff. Will Ferrell, Family Guy. Like we'll create all these different parody meme pages before they were called memes, and tweet from these personality pages, and they'll gain so much traction and virality, and we'll be monetizing it by posting my likes links all day. And on top of that, my likes was also paying me to tell people about my likes. They're giving me laptops, iPads, the latest gear to let people know that they can make money on my likes. So I'm making money in different ways, different streams. A lot of people know the importance of different streams of income, but I learned how to make different streams of income within the same body of water. That's where most people mess up. Let me look at the camera when I say this. This is very important when it comes to streams of income. The beautiful thing, the reason why I was able to get a lot of traction, y'all, is because I didn't divide myself and distract myself with different areas. I was able to make money in that multiple ways in that same field. This is very important. I was on Twitter all day. It was fun, and I was making money. I didn't have to go anywhere else. Just stay on Twitter, right? So I made money from my likes by posting the links. I made money from my likes by referring people. I made money from my likes by those are the two ways I made money from my likes directly. All right. I didn't say, well, I want to make $50,000. Let me go ahead and create my own my likes. I want to make 100. I didn't do that. If that's your ambition and will, cool. But in the beginning, y'all, let's stick to a script. Don't get divided because new plays create new challenges. I didn't have to worry about that. All I had to worry about was tweeting, and it was fun. All right. So that was that backstory. Let me go back into the screen share. All right, let's move into 2011. So 2011, I wanted to. Oh, there's a reason why I had to pivot. I had to pivot because all my Twitter pages got shut down, suspended. Twitter didn't realize that my page and my networks, because I had a Zodiac page, I had a page for every niche, relationship page, everything you can think of. I had a dedicated page. Hell in the game, right? But it got so big that other people started to create all these meme pages and it started to take over Twitter. So Twitter created a rule that you can't create parody pages and suspended everybody who had it. All my pages got suspended, including my personal. The internet went wild. Where's Maddie? Well, at the time, I was going by the Killer Truth. It went wild. And a lot of people don't know, my network is the reason why Black Twitter exists. That term was coined from my page and some of the other people in my network. So imagine all these people that follow my page and the pages I run and the network of people, all pages getting suspended. It went viral within Twitter, right? And people started trying to figure out how are you going to make money if you don't have these parody pages. You don't have a Twitter page. So I tried to create another account. Right? They suspended. Then Twitter realized that we were the one that made Twitter popular. And they changed the rule. They changed it where you can have a parody page, but you now have to put that this is the parody inside the bio. So now I'm back on Twitter, but guess what? A new app just came out. Instagram came out. Matter of fact, I don't need to share my screen to tell this story. I'm gonna look at this camera. Instagram comes out 2010. In order to be on Instagram, you have to have an iPhone. It was exclusive. It was fun. It had photos, had everything you needed. And all I did was take everything I learned from Twitter and MySpace and hit the ground running. Instagram. Top dude on Instagram, day one. Top recommended follow, day one. Where they're telling people, Instagram is telling people to follow me once people sign up. I'm leveraging. So I'm on Instagram. My first post, and you can actually go to my old page and see, was a picture of Ray J in front of the Kardashian family. And I had something inappropriate. I don't act or talk like that now, but it went viral. And on that picture, it had my logo. And that logo was my brand called The Likeable Assholes. I had a brand called The Likeable Assholes. Somebody helped coin that term for me because I was always very direct, blunt, but they liked me because they understood past the truth. I'm a likable person. So I created that brand, Likeable Assholes. And I had that logo and name on that picture that went viral. Now, think about it. Instagram photos is definitely different from tweets being retweeted. Photos now being basically regrammed throughout the internet with a picture of my brand on the corner. Now my picture of my brand is being recognized, and guess how I monetized it? I had t-shirts. So that logo and name, when people saw it, like well, assholes, what's that? Oh, I like that name. What is that? They'll see, oh, there's a shirt, there's a community, there's a brand. Cool, let me tap in, and they'll buy shirts. I'm now making $10,000 a week selling t-shirts. That's how I monetized it. I've always had an offer that aligned with the audience and the content. Always. Most people, they don't know how to monetize because they don't either have an offer or people don't know you have an offer. And my guy Grant says all the time, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. It's that simple. Even for me, I don't like selling. I don't like trying to convince anybody to buy anything from me. So I created strategic ways unintentionally to get people to buy from me by leveraging viral content that people like. It doesn't have to be viral. I don't even want to use the word viral too much because content doesn't have to go viral for it to convert. If 10 people see your picture, you can convert a percentage of that 10 people. All right. So don't allow that whisper to say, oh, you don't got 1,000 followers. You can't do this. don't allow it to happen. Shut him up. All right. So I monetized those posts, my early Instagram, through my clothing line, and I created a viral movement. And when I say viral, I mean, I'm going to show you guys. I can show you guys better than I can tell you. Some of you guys are already familiar. Documenting. So this was my brand, The Likeable Assholes, right? I'm going to show you the folder that has like the different people wearing the shirts. And one of the things I did was something called UGC, user generated content. Again, these terms are now known in marketing. I didn't know any like the people rocking. So user generated content is simply this. People who buy are taking pictures of them using it, wearing it, opening it, putting it on. Thousands, when I say thousands of people are wearing this shirt throughout LA, LA, Houston, Vegas. Those are the main two markets. Atlanta, right? Because it resonated with a certain group of people, and it had a cool little catchy little mascot, right? Cartoony mascot, to the point where people actually were tatting the logo on their bodies. It was real. It was cult. It was culture. All right. Thousands. Then I tapped into brand ambassador plays, affiliate marketing. All these things we'll talk about in a second. Right? You guys understand the backstory here. All right, the common themes of every story I'm about to share with you guys. So that was that play. The clothing line, like Blast. So with all my success in social media, guess what people naturally are going to start doing? They're gonna start asking you questions. Yo, Matt, how do you have so many followers? Yo, Matt, how did you start your clothing line? Yo, Matt, how did you do this? Yo, Matt, this is when you start monetizing your what? Your brain. Oh, this was the game changer. This was the game changer. I didn't have to print shirts and go to the warehouse and ship no more. I didn't have to create all these different pages and no more. All I gotta do is take what's in my brain and put it on paper, and now I get paid from my head and not my hands. Oh, game changer. So this is when I start organizing my day-to-days, my systems, my processes, my protocols. So when people ask me, yo, Matt, how you do this? I'm not gonna give them no fluff. I'm gonna give you exactly how I did it. Right? And I got real excited doing it because there's some skills I start to pick up. I start to learn how to speak, engage. All these skills, soft and hard skills, you start to develop organic. Everything I'm doing right now is organic, y'all. It's just the natural flow and order of things. I'm not allowing distractions to take me off course, take me over here, invest in real estate. Maddie, you making all this money, come here. Maddie, do this. Maddie, all these different offers to go all these different places. I allowed everything I did to be real organic. It didn't feel like work at all. Yes, did things have challenges? Absolutely. But the challenges were embraced because I wanted to do it. Imagine having a challenge in a business that you hate or a job that you hate. That's not my experience, by God's grace. And you have control of not experiencing it as well if you tap into the gold that's sitting in your backyard, right? Imagine like the continent of Africa having so much raw materials and natural resources and you never knew, right? You just see everybody else thriving, but you're not looking into your own land, realizing, dang, I really got a bunch of diamonds sitting here this whole time. And the beautiful thing about these raw materials, they don't rot. It's not too late. They're still there. I'm just going to share how to go to the backyard, get your shovel, and dig these joints out. Polish them up, refine them, and put them on the market. All right. So let me get back to the share so I can show you guys one by one. I'm going to go to the next piece, which is the 6 monetization plays that you guys can all incorporate right now. All right. So last 2 stories, I've made a lot of money broke. Monetization is also the relationships that you build in your life is connecting one person to another, and one thing to another thing. So I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like. I'm gonna search it on, and it's on as a brokering. I'm still here, y'all. I didn't know you guys couldn't see my screen this whole time. I was over here talking. Let me go share it back so you guys can see. All right, can you guys see my screen? Give me a thumbs up on the chat. Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys a case study on a broker gold deal. All right, so my guy Sean, he reached out to me on Instagram. I met him at a conference, and let me see if I can open up the entire thing. Oh, there he goes. He reached out to me and says, "Yo, Matt, I know you're super connected. I have 24 metric tons of gold that can be distributed 22 metric tons a month. You know anyone that owns a gold refinery or a super high net worth individual looking for gold? The gold is located in Dubai. Blah, 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 blah." right? Let me look at the camera when I say this. This is very funny. Most people would look at a message like that and say, why in the hell is this man asking me if somebody wants to buy 24 metrics of gold? I've never dealt with gold. I don't do anything with gold. Why is he asking me? All right. See, a lot of people see value in you that you don't see in yourself. A lot of people realize that you got connections that you don't even realize yourself. Right? He started off with the statement, I know you're a super connected guy. Yeah, I know people, but I don't know. I never tapped into that specific realm of who knows what in that specific industry. So even though in my brain, I didn't have anybody for him, I knew that the way that he set the message up, I should prepare my mind and my eyes for the opportunity when it presents itself. So I told him in a message, bro, I don't know anybody off the top of my head, but as soon as I do, guess who I'm gonna hit up? You. Right? This story is crazy. He told me, kept it real simple, calm, cordial. And again, in my head, I don't know anybody who needs to be buying gold. But the reason, again, before I go into the further in the story, you have to set yourself up where people are thinking about you on plays. Monetization isn't just you looking for plays, it's people looking for you to give you a play. This is what I want to pull out of this bit. All right. I document my travel in Dubai. So when he thought about Dubai, who does he think about? Maddie. I document networking, relationships. So who did he think about? Maddie. So he combined Dubai, relationships, even though the only component I was thinking about was gold. But those are the components that were necessary for him to reach out to me. It was the other two that I knew I have, not realizing I didn't have the third as well. Fast forward. Mind you, I met him at a networking event. Backstory, something that he has no problem. He was at Grant Cardone's 10X VIP event. So he paid, I didn't pay nothing, but he paid $20,000 to be there. And he had two women on his arm. This is he had everybody in shambles at that event because he had two beautiful black goddess queens on his arms. One on the left, one on the right. I'm like, who is this dude? This guy is crazy. Come to find out, he's not what I thought he was. Like, he's very smart, very anyways, you guys can move. Anyway, that's how I met him. So we exchanged contact information, right? And just because we don't have anything to do with each other at that moment, just because there's no work at that moment, I still want to be able to follow each other on Instagram. That's why I follow people on Instagram. If you go on my Instagram, I'm not stingy with the follows. I actually hit my limit. I follow everybody I meet in person because you never know when the opportunity is going to present itself for why you met that person. This is key. So fast forward, he reaches out. The opportunity happened 2 years later. Yo, Matt, I got gold for sale. Let me know if you have anybody who wants to buy this gold. There's a $8,000 a month commission for you. You ain't got to do nothing but make the introduction. Again, I'm not thinking too much of it because I don't know who I could connect him with. Tell me why I get this message last week. I'm about to show you guys on my phone. This is crazy. Hold on, let me make sure I don't show other people's messages before I go here. Okay. Share screen. All right. So I get this, I get a text message. This is a text message I get. On the 19th of April. Brother, do you know any gold sellers in Dubai? 500 kg a month. I said, what's good? I said, what's up, chap? So I copied and pasted the message of the dude, Sean, who, this is what he sent me months ago. See how things align? I literally copy and pasted it. I told him, I know, no, excuse me. I copy and pasted the message he sent me, and I told him, this is the message I got. He said, beautiful, if it's legit, right? AU brokering, basically, go brokering, blah, 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 right? We set up the WhatsApp. We get on WhatsApp. I get him. Both got Sean and Fortune on the WhatsApp. I set up the WhatsApp group chat, the go play, and they get to talking, get to deal making. Right? Right? I don't want to get too much into no detail, but you guys get the point. To the point where Sean sends me a message and says, what does he say? I don't know where it's at. I forgot what the message is. But he sent me a message thanking me for connecting and that this deal is going to be a good deal. All right. So you guys get the point with that situation. I was able to not only monetize my MySpace, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, you get to monetize your life and relationships. And the time always presents itself if you're able to recognize. The acronym for POUR, I always say it, passing over opportunities repeatedly. And that's what most people do. The opportunity was there, you didn't recognize it. You didn't see it. It's like speaking a different language. All right. So now let's get into the actual frameworks on how you can apply my stories, to your life intentionally. That's what we're doing now. And we're going to be talking about the 6 monetization plays. Super simple, as long as you keep it simple. KISS is my favorite acronym. Keep it super simple. Please, don't overcomplicate it. Don't let that brain whisper, that voice, say, there's no way it's that easy. Let's make it more complicated. Don't listen to that, I promise you. You can't listen to that voice. All right? So let me go ahead and share the screen and go over the notes that you guys are to. All right, so the first monetization play is the walking billboard play. I shared this before, but we're going to go into it in detail. No, we're actually going to talk about the story time play first. All right, so the story time play is this. Is when we're going to turn real moments into real money, right? We don't do things for money. We do things for impact. However, in order to create consistent impact, I truly believe money has to flow. Some type of financial, monetary resources have to flow, right? That's just the nature of life. All right, so the story time play, turn moments into real money by storytelling with purpose, positioning, and profit in mind. All right, so the step-by-step, this is basically a checklist. First thing is the mindset. You have to recognize that every moment in our life, good, bad, or wild, is content with a lesson or gem. I'm going to stick on this very, very heavy. Every single moment of your life, good, bad, wild, is content with a lesson or gem. We see many examples of that. Ashton Hall wakes up, puts his face in some water, some ice. He's just documenting what he did. Right? Get ready with me, get dressed with me, watch me put my makeup on. All these things are just people documenting moments. You don't got to get hit by a car. It don't got to be some Oscar-worthy moment for people to consider it valuable. You just have to pull out the gem that's in it. There's always a gem in it. You think that you driving and dropping off your kids to school is just normal. Or you getting your hair braided in Ghana is just normal. If you document it and tell the story on how you got there, why you got there, how much you paid, what happened, those stories captivate, gain attention, and guess what you can do with attention? Turn it into monetization, right? Super important mindset. This is the first thing. You have to believe this. We can't even move forward with any of these plays unless you believe that every moment of your life, there's a gem in it. There's a lesson. Every moment. All right? And every one of these plays, I'm going to show you guys examples, real life examples on how I've been able to tap into it. All right? So next play. Keep a running log of memorable life experiences, challenges, and breakthroughs. Remember I said you have gems and diamonds and golds in your backyard? Even though you may not have monetized it yet, it's not too late. Even though I didn't document and share my story of selling candy in full detail, it's not too late. I can put it this way. I can monetize and live my life and make money, make a living from sharing my high school experiences and not have to do anything else. Put it that way. I don't have to do anything new in my life. I don't got to do anything. I can live my life and make a living sharing stories of things that happened to me in high school. This is very important. I hope you understand this. Don't think that, oh, okay, I get it. I got to monetize. I got to tell stories. Now I got to do something crazy and amazing. No, you got to look back in your past and identify the things that happened in your past, start to break it down, write it down, and start telling it. And the more you tell it, you'll start to hear people pull out the gems for you. The gems that you didn't even realize that were in the story. With me, I know how to pull out gems out of people's stories that they didn't realize because I'm very curious. I ask questions. People are like, yo, why you ask so many questions? Because I'm trying to get all the gems. That's why I need the gems, my boy. And then through my realization, then they realize, oh damn, that was a dope story. I need to start telling more people about this. That's how I'll be. All right. So next piece of the checklist: identify the deeper message, turning point, the emotion behind it. That's pulling out the gems, the turning point. Like a movie. When you watch a movie, those are the things that make it exciting. The turning point, the plot, the villain, the hero. What went right? What went wrong? Is it gonna work out? All those things. All right. Then we're going to extract the core value, the problem, the trial, the shift, the solution, or the mindset that changed and everything. Right. Reframe it in a way that speaks directly to an audience that you're talking to. Right. Because every audience is different. When I tell one story that happened to me, I know how to tell it differently depending on who I'm talking to. You learn that over time. All right. Next, you reframe it in a way that speaks, or so that you use this 6-part framework to craft your story. All right. Here's the 6-part framework. You experience something real. You faced a problem, pain, or turning point. You discovered the mindset shift, solution, realization. You packaged it into a short story, punchy, relatable, and then you shared it to the right audience. Right? This is key. I'm gonna mention the first 5 again and how most people mess up. This is what I'm gonna tell you what most people do. First, you experience something real. Check. You've done that. You faced a problem, pain or turnover. Check. You've done that already. You've already experienced first 2 in your life every day. 3, you discovered a mindset shift, a solution, and realization. This is where most people start falling off. Most people start falling off there. You know why? It's because they're complaining instead of training. You know why? Because they're focusing on the problem, not the solution. You know why? They're focusing on blame. You know why? Because they put the issue on somebody else. When you say issue real slow, the problem is you. That's the bar. So the people who don't have that negative mindset don't graduate to the 3rd step, which was self-awareness, discovery, realization. But those who do, by God's grace, who have the mindset of, what was this lesson that I need to learn? It didn't happen to me, it happened for me. When you start to shift to that mindset, you graduate to stage 3. Then you have the confidence, because you're not going to be embarrassed. You're not going to move into stage 4 because you feel embarrassed about the circumstance. Why would I tell anybody about this situation? They're going to judge me. They're going to da-da-da-da-da. Now I'm giving you the psychological pattern of what's happening and why you don't share your story. All right? So we move on. We graduate. We now have the confidence, the blessing, the gratefulness to God to share our testimony. You package it into a short, punchy, relatable story. You share it to the right audience or platform, right? And here's another piece where people fall off at, right? Some people actually graduate to that 5th step, but they fall off on the 6th step. You made an offer. You always have to make an offer. I hate direct sales. Me personally, that's not my personality. I don't like it. I don't like being feeling. I like people to come to me and say, yo, Matt, do you have this? Good. Where do I send the money? I don't want to say, hey, guys, I have this thing. Here's why you need it. I don't like that's not my style. I ain't gonna lie to you. But if you follow this process the right way, it becomes easier to make an offer, because you'll start having people ask you more than you have to present it on the front end. Making the offer, having the offer, and having a CTA, call to action, is the key piece. One of my sisters on this call, she makes plates, food plates. She cooks, documents the process of cooking. When you make food, you meal prep. I'll just use myself for example, actually. I'm meal prepping for my fitness and nutrition. I put out the 5 plates of the chicken, the rice, and the broccoli. Same plate that everybody be making on it or sell. And I'm posting the video to document the process, right? And I upload it, and that was it. I got the likes, compliments, yeah, all that good stuff with no offer. I didn't say, hey, if you guys want to have your food meal prepped like I did, or if you want to learn how I meal prepped it like I did, if you want to have the ingredients like I did, hit my link. DM these words. Most people forget that piece. They're doing it for the followers and the likes and then comments. That's cool and all. We have to finish the play. Hashtag finish the play. It does not make sense. Let me look in the camera when I say this. Directly. It doesn't all that time, energy, and resources. Plowing the ground, planting the seed, watering the plant. The plant grows, the fruits come out, and all you did was look at that fruit and went back to start sowing seeds. You didn't squeeze any, you didn't use the skin of that banana peel to moisturize your face. You didn't use all the different ways that you use that fruit to help benefit. You didn't, for example, meal prepping. I make my 5 meals, I make my video, and then I make an offer. Whether it's digitally, because some people say, well, I don't got no followers. Cool, you have neighbors. If you live in an apartment and you have 100 people on the top of you and the bottom of you, you knock on the door and show them a picture. Hey guys, every week I make these 5 meals. These are the same meals, or a variation or iteration of the meals you're making. Instead of spending your time, energy, and resources and doing it yourself, I'll do it for you for the low price of blank. You just monetize something you were already doing in a very organic, seamless, peaceful, relationship building, income thriving, impactful way. But no, every time you get in the elevator at your condo apartment, you're just waiting for that elevator door to open to end that awkward silence. You don't make no offers. You never introduce yourself. You never let that person know, hey, I got this. What do you want on this menu? All right. So that's how you monetize. This is an example of how you monetize your lifestyle. All right. That's just one example. And then we want to turn digital because we don't want to get paid with our hands. But sooner or later, we need to graduate to get paid with our head to the point where we're now teaching other people how to meal prep via digital product, via video course, via audio course, right? And now you have enough income to start hiring people to do the work for you. If you follow this format, if you follow this flow, this is how it works. All right. So let me get back to the screen share. And this all came from storytelling. Remember, sales is really storytelling. That's what it is. Never tell a story without making a point, and never make a point without telling a story. That's how that works. Les Brown. All right. So we mentioned the 6-part framework. Let's move on to the next piece of that. You're going to choose your format of where you share your stories, whether it's Instagram, caption, reels, podcast, TikTok, tweet, blog, newsletter, in person, somebody else's podcast, whatever the case may be. That's what we're gonna do. Again, somebody might be saying, well, I don't have the followers, right? Again, OPN, other people's networks. Through relationship and networking, you have your offer, you have your story, you now put that in a suitcase and you walk to other people's audiences and open up your suitcase. And because people need stories. Netflix needs actors and producers the same way they might need Netflix. It's a mutual beneficial relationship, symbiotic relationship. Instagram needs your stories. They even influence you to start creating stories by creating something called stories. And still people aren't even telling stories on there. They're just posting random moments. Package it in a story, make your offer. And then the more consistent you do it, which is next week, the more the following builds. You can't build a following if they don't know what they're following. They don't have something consistent, a schedule, a theme to look forward to. It will never happen. All right? So everything that we do, we need to package it into a story form. Every post you make, you post a picture of you out with your girls, tell the story behind it. People love it, and you will love it. Because you will then realize, dang, that was a fun night, but I didn't realize how fun it was based on everybody's reaction. Right? Next, include stories in your emails, sales pages, bios. Right? I'm not going to go into too much detail. We don't got too much time. All right, let's move on to the next play. The first play, I hope everybody understands the story time play. And I'm going to give you, I promise you guys, I'm going to give you guys an example of how I ran these plays at a high level. Story time play.
Welcome to another edition of the social.
Remember, I could have had 0 digital footprint for this to work. So I don't have any followers is never an excuse. I don't have no emails. I don't have no neighbors. Like you say, Maddie, you tell me go to knock on my neighbor's door. I live in, whatever you say. This is the story on how I made $1.4 million in 3 months using my story. My brother David built this relationship with him because we go to the same church. He saw my consistency with me documenting my 2-year-old car rental journey. He said, yo, Matt, I want you on my podcast to tell your story. I got some questions for you. I really want to get some free game, but we're going to record it so everybody else can. That's what he told me. I said, man, I kept pushing it off because I wasn't too pressed to do it. But it came to a time where, by God's grace, perfect timing actually, where I pulled up. I was with Neo. Neo had his interview. I went right after him. So I sat with him for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and told my story on how somebody stole my car, my Corvette, Super Bowl weekend in Atlanta, along with my other pieces of the story on how I started X, Y, and Z. Notice, our video, mine and David Chan's video, is actually the most viewed video on his platform. Either the first or second. I forget. Well, we can actually see right now. And I'm gonna share why. It's up there. All right, so it's the second, right? Right under that one. So it's the second most viewed video on his platform. All right, but the question is why. You have to understand why. Remember, this is OPN, somebody else's network, other people's network. Meaning I didn't have to have any social presence. I'm leveraging somebody else's network, algorithm, search engine. All right. Matter of fact, I'll let the comments tell you why it worked. All right. I'm going to show you a few pieces. One, he gave out so much practical game for free. This is incredible. All right. The best thing of this whole video is Matty J's grounding in God and his statement. I got reminded of what God's will was. So your personality and your storytelling, your core values is what that allows people to know, like, and trust you. Right? Right here. I love your what? Your story. I didn't go on there just sharing random stuff. I literally went on that platform with my brother and told what? My story. Right? And that's the common theme of energy you'll see inside the comments. Story, 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 story. But how did I monetize it? Because this class is about monetization. It's not about storytelling. It is, but it isn't. The title is monetization class. So how in the heck does me getting on this podcast tell my story have to do with monetization? Well, monetization is sales, and sales come from what? Amazing storytelling. That's the flow. So at the end of my storytelling, what most people don't do is they don't have a product or service. They just tell a story, get everybody hyped, laughing, and everybody goes about their way. But no, we were a little bit more intentional. By the end, naturally and organically, in between certain things, David Shands was letting his following know that I have a $1,200 course available and that it will be inside the caption below for people to tap in if you have any more questions, as you can see here. So a video that got over 500,000 views. This isn't a Instagram short. 1 minute video that gets 100,000, a million. This is an hour and a half long video, meaning somebody sat there and enjoyed an hour. It's like a movie. The reason why movie stars and actors have the prestige that they have because people invested a lot of time in watching them to know, like, and trust them. So in the same way, sitting there for an hour and a half, it created a level of impact, of trust, likability, knowability to increase my status dramatically. I'm usually the guy behind the scenes. These videos and podcasts, it took me to a whole nother level. To the point where I show up at airports, people stopping me, taking pictures, showing love, and vice versa. But again, how did it turn into monetization? We had the course. $1.4 million, 3 months. 1.4 in 3 months because of this video alone, which led to more opportunities, which led to more opportunities, which led to more opportunities. So you guys get that case study. So that was the story time case study. So you might be asking, okay, Maddie, I get it. All this amazing things that happened to you, what does this have to do with me? How can I do this? I didn't have my car stolen Super Bowl weekend. I didn't have X, Y, and Z. Well, the reason why I was able to recognize what happened to me is because I sat down when it happened and evaluated my story. Most people forget to evaluate. You've had crazy things happen to you. Period. Even as simple of I haven't paid my rent yet. And it's the 29th, going on the 1st. That is something that people want. If you can package that into a story, a relatable story that you can make funny, educational, entertaining, people will tap in and pay you to learn what not to do, what to do, how you navigated through it, how you came up with the rent money, how you, even if you didn't come up with it, how do you got evicted? What was that process like? You can literally spin anything, y'all. You can spin any circumstance and situation as long as you realize how valuable it can be for somebody else. Bad breakups, your hair fell out because you used Nair instead of shampoo. Any story. You woke up late for work. Any story can be packaged and monetized. All right, so that's the story time play. Let's move on to the next play. We have the walking billboard play. All right, I kind of touched on this already. I'm going to try to breeze through this. The walking billboard play, really simple. First, mindset. Your life is marketing. You know, you ever heard the term lifestyle marketing? It's simply marketing your life. That's what lifestyle marketing is. Since you have a life, if you're breathing, by default, you are marketing it. By default, whether you're doing it intentionally or unintentionally. The key is to move into intentionally so we can monetize it. Every moment that you are breathing on this earth, you are marketing something. You are showing something. But just because you show up doesn't mean it's going to convert unless you're intentional. And that's what we're going to be talking about with the walking billboard play. I can have an advertisement on a billboard, but if it doesn't have a call to what? Action, it doesn't get what? Monetized. It just gets views. And that's what most people do with their life. They get viewed all day. Let me look at the camera when I say this. All you do is get viewed. You drive in a car, viewed. You looked at somebody. You go to the grocery store, viewed. You're just looking at somebody. You're just looking, bunch of looky loos. We gotta turn these looks into books. These lookings into buckets. You smiled at me, I need that. You waved at me, I need that. Yo, I'm not saying any of this to be like an opportunistic or be like money hungry. I'm just saying we gotta like really squeeze the juice out of our relationship. So, how do we turn our lifestyle into opportunities of generating income and impact? Indirectly, directly. Real simple. I'm about to go back to the screen share so you guys can see the list. The list is real simple, y'all. Literally, I love sharing plays that anybody can do. I get excited because you don't have no excuse. So here it is. The first one is understanding energy and compliments. You make what we're gonna do here. I'm at C. If y'all don't know where I'm following. C. Make a lifestyle audit of what stands out about you visually, energetically, and experientially. Right? Where did you get that at? What do you use? It can turn into a client. Anytime somebody says, where'd you get that at? In marketing, we call this a warm lead. This is very important. It's a warm lead. A lead is somebody who's interested in something that you have. We need to make sure that you have it to offer in some shape or form. All right? Leads. You're leading them somewhere. They came to you and said, yo, I like that. Where'd you get that? Don't waste the opportunity. So whether it's your clothes, your fitness, your body, your fragrances, the jewelry you're wearing, your aesthetics, your skin, your knowledge, your car, your home, your meals, your travel, all these things are monetizable. All right. So how do we monetize our clothes? Right. You put on clothes. Clothes are an expression. You have to understand the value of everything you do and have. They're an expression. So we're not just wearing clothes to cover our body from protect it from the warmth and the cold. It's also to express ourselves. All right. And that expression is relatable. It's entertaining. It's educational. So many things that can be done with your clothing. It always should spark a conversation. Something you wear on your body should spark a conversation. You need to be very intentional about that. From being a minimalist to something extravagant, it should spark a conversation. Case in point, I'm in Ghana. I have a pair of pants, joggers, that I wear intentionally because of the attraction and attention that it gets. When people see me wearing these joggers, they are influenced to ask me about them, where I got them, how much it cost, and whenever I get that feedback, I knew I got a hit. I got one. I got me one. I go to the gym wearing these pants. These aren't gym clothes, but I'm wearing them at the gym. Just 4 days ago, somebody said, hey, what's going on, man? I like your pants. Where'd you get them from? In the gym, most people don't talk to each other because they need a reason. A lot of people are scared. They're looking for a reason to talk. So I gave them a reason that opened up the door to have a conversation. So it turned from, where'd you get those pants from? From me sending him a link to buy them, to us working out together, to us training each other, to us. Monetization isn't just monetary as far as money. It turns into relationship building and it turns into other things. So when you walk out the house, you can't just think that I only put on clothes because I need to cover my naked body. You put on clothes because I'm going to use these clothes to build a relationship. Platonically, romantically, business, whatever it is, you got to be intentional about it. My skin, my sister Bailey, her skin, flawless. I guarantee she gets 3-4 compliments per day. Anytime somebody says, yo, your skin is amazing, it's glowing, it's radiant, it should turn into, oh, here's my skincare routine. Here are the products I use. What's your number? I'll send it over to you. And you're monetizing this either directly or indirectly. You're either selling the products yourself or you have an affiliate code attached to those links. That's simple. That's how you get paid by living. That's what you call lifestyle marketing. Your braids. Where'd you get your hair done? Oh, this is my girl right here. Here's her number. You already have a deal set up for every girl you send to her shop, her seat. Whether it's a discount on your next hair or she pays you direct, whatever the deal you set up. It's free money. It's free. Turn compliments into clients. Fragrance. You smell good. You spent $100 on that bottle of perfume cologne. Get your investment back. There's this one fragrance I wore that I've never seen so much amazing feedback from. Some basic $10 fragrance that I got from one of those vending markets where people, you know, this small businesses sell things at the vending booths. Somebody walked up to me and said, "Man, you smell fresh out the shower." I said, "Appreciate that." Next person, "Dang, what you wearing?" Next person, "Oh, dang, that's crazy. That thing smell." All the compliments start. I said, "Oh, I got one." In my brain, as soon as you get a compliment 3 times, it should trigger your brain to say, "Oh, I got one." That's what I want everybody to do. To tell yourself, "Oh, I got one." So what did I do? Instead of saying a simple, "Oh, appreciate you, thank you," and moving on by my business, I hit up the dude who made the fragrance. Say, "Bro, we got to partner up ASAP." You got to partner up ASAP. I'm excited. He's excited. What we got to do? We set up the deal. Now I got the bottles on deck. So when somebody says, "You smell good," here you go, my boy. I got you right now. $10, $20. And that $10, $20, it adds up. It paid for your phone bill. It paid for this. It pays for that. Your groceries. It adds up, y'all. And that, oh man, it's endless. We're struggling and working way harder than we need to. I promise you we are. I promise you. Your car is an asset. Most people, when they buy their car, they boast about the brand of the car, Mercedes, Porsche, BMW, Lexus, whatever your album is on the car. You're giving them free promotion. As soon as I get my cars, I personalize it. I put a custom plate on the back, and then I go on Amazon and find the letters to my Instagram name. Literally, you can literally buy an emblem quality lettering that looks like a logo that you can take the Toyota logo off, you can take the Mercedes logo off and replace it with your name. It's not illegal. Why am I driving around promoting Tesla? People know it's a Tesla. Why I gotta have the name on there? I'm gonna put my name on the car, my business on the car, my service on the car. And if you don't want to do that, people put it on the plate, like the plate caps. Some people wrap their entire car. I don't understand how you're driving your car miles per day. Hundreds of thousands of people per year are seeing your car every year. And you missed the opportunity to let every single person that looked at your car know what you had to offer. Think about that. We're talking about the walking billboard. This is a driving billboard. But in your mind, when you have a product that you want to sell, you say, "Yo, I need to buy one of those billboards to market my brand." Not realizing your car was a billboard the entire time. Not realizing the clothes that you wear, that you're just wearing somebody else's clothes. Not realizing that you can make that same clothes and put your name on it, or just put your name on top of it. Right? And if you don't want to do that, a customized bracelet, customized chain that has your name on it, your logo on it, whatever the case may be, you need to be a walking billboard for your services, products, and offers. Please, that's the easiest. Nobody talks about this. If somebody needs to make money, oh, they say, oh yeah, you should work here, you should get this job, you should invest, you should do all these things to make money. They never say tap into the things that you already have. Nobody ever says that. Nobody can look at you and say, I know exactly why you're not making an extra 300. I'm not even promising a lot, even though you could be making a lot. I'm not promising. I'm just promising you. I guarantee you're missing out on $300 a month, just simply because you don't have your name on the clothes that you wear, on your car, on your bracelet, whatever the case may be. You're not running the walking billboard play. Once you run that play, your life will change because you're no longer in survival mode. You're getting paid to take care of your survival expenses. Everything else is what? Extra. Imagine if you never had to worry about your car note, your cell phone bill, your rent, your mortgage, your groceries. Imagine. Imagine the life that the amount of happiness and elimination of stress that you would have if you didn't have to worry about paying those 5 things. Guess what? That's been my experience for years. It has nothing to do with the amount of money I made. I created systems that make sure that I don't never have to stress about basic things. All right. So that's that. Let's move on. I think you guys get the point here. Now, actually, if you guys look at we don't have too much time. If you look at the document, some of these are highlighted. I linked to the case study of how I started selling my Kente joggers. I broke down the what? Story. If I wanted to, I can go in front of a camera, use this as a script, and tell my story on how I made these pants. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you this whole process. These are pants. Right. These are the pants. They get crazy attention. Right. So there's a story behind it. And like I said, you tell everybody all the time, we have to not just share and post what we do. We need to tell the story behind it. All right. So I documented some of the inspirations. This is crazy. I documented what it could look like, drafted drawings from drawing to realization, drawing to realization, drawing to realization. Right? The whole story about this situation is so inspiring, impactful, educational, entertaining. I can monetize this in 20 different ways. 20 different ways. Me picking different fabrics, me documenting how much each cost. I can remix this into millions. Right? So I linked that so you guys can see that case study. All right. Let me go back. Oh yeah. Walking billboard. Now the digital product play. Remember, we want to get paid not just from our hands, but from our head as well. So digital products is real simple. It's intellectual property, IP. I believe is one of the greatest assets to exist. I believe it's greater than every commodity. It's IP. The wealthiest and most powerful, influential nations, they have their power because of IP, intellectual property. It's not them having guns, it's the intellectual property of how the gun was created, how the gun is protected, how the gun is shot. It's the how part, the knowledge part. All right? So when it comes to our experiences, how do we package our IP into digital products? This is the framework. There's 21 pieces that you need to document for anything that you've ever done and will do. 1, tell us the success story. Tell us the story, the before and after. Where was it and how did it end up? 2, for this digital product, you have to have a cover art. You have to have a title, the introduction, a clear topic, who this information is for, what they're supposed to be learning, what they're supposed to be doing, what they need to be looking out for when it comes to the learning process. What information do I need to know to make this process faster? What are the frequently asked questions? You guys get the point. They're all listed here. Those are the 21 things that you need in your playbook to package whatever knowledge you want to share. And I linked the example. The example I have on here is the Ghana play. Me living in Ghana for the last 4 months, going on 5, people were going to ask me questions. So what I do, I wrote down the top 40 questions that I knew people were going to be asking me. And because I don't want to be answering the same question over and over, because I was being annoyed, I turned my annoyance into a product that everybody benefits from. By God's grace. Q&A. So anytime somebody goes to Ghana, they have a resource. Somebody thinks about Ghana, they think about me. That's in my network, right? So I'm able to leverage my experiences because I packaged it using that framework into a digital product. All right. So I think everybody understands this play because most people on this call have probably already tapped into some of the playbooks. All right, let's continue to the next play. And then we're going to do Q&A. Trying to speed through this. Digital product 4, the referral play. All right, so the referral play is this. Everything that you use, everything that you do, you need to partner up with the source or the plug or the provider to get an affiliate link. Let me say this again. Matter of fact, let me just tell the story so you guys can understand this. You should have a folder like this one, where you have a list of all the affiliates that you have based on the things that you use. All right, so let me tell you the categories. Any tool or system or service that you use for your business, you need to write it down. You pay these people $10 a month, $5 a month, $100 a month, not realizing that you're not the only one that sees value in it, because you obviously do because you pay for it. There's other people who do that don't know about it yet, and the company will gladly compensate you for letting other people know. A lot of people share this information for free. Hey, Matt, I see you edit your videos a certain way. What app did you use? Is it the 2 options that most people do? They ignore them and not tell them because you don't want people to know, or you tell them just to go to the app store and search this, and they do it without you getting anything out of that outside of good looking. Appreciate you, my boy. I mean, which is cool too, right? But you missed out on an opportunity to monetize, because that's what this class is about. What I know, let me look at the camera when I say this. Anytime I use something that's valuable, anytime I know that I love something, I'm like, I know other people will love it too. That's the mindset. That's the key piece. If I love it, I know other people will love it too. That's what you need to think every time. This makes me happy. I'm willing to spend, because I don't spend my money on some random things. So if I'm spending my money on it, it's top tier. It's valuable. Obviously, everything's not valuable for everybody in every situation, circumstance, scenario. We get that. But for the most part, generally speaking, that's the mindset you have to have. That's the statement that you need to tell yourself. I know I'm not the only one that's going to like this. Let me reach out to the manufacturer and provider of this product or service and ask them if they have an affiliate link. And 9 times out of 10, they do. You go to that website, you grab your affiliate link, and you have it locked and prepared for any time a conversation comes up about that service or product. When people DM you the word X, Y, and Z, how do you automatically send them? What app does everybody use for that? Give me a second. I'll be right back with you. That's what you need to hit them with. You send them a link. Now you're getting paid $8 every month for something that somebody else is paying for. Or in my case, with Shopify. Shopify has been paying me 20% since 2014 for every person I referred to that platform. I signed up a sister named Ming Lee. She owns a brand called Snob Life. She was using a Wix platform. I moved her to Shopify. She's on a $1,000 a month plan. She's been paying $1,000 a month for her website since 2014. Guess how much I've been making since 2014? $200 faithfully every month. Think about that. Since 2014, I've been making $200 a month from Shopify, doing absolutely nothing since then. People are working way too hard. You have people in your network right now that need a Shopify account. You didn't call them up, hey, what websites platform are you using? You should probably, how much are you paying? Why are you using it? Obviously, you don't want to force things on people that they don't need. But if it makes sense and it matches up, you put them on so you can get paid forever. During that time period, I ran that up. I signed up Prima Donna. I signed up about 300 businesses to that platform. Most of them weren't paying. Obviously, you're not going to get all the sharks who are paying $1,000 a month. You're going to get people paying $9 a month, $20 a month, $40 a month. And some people won't have it for a long time. That's why if I was serious about it and I cared about doing that, I would focus on high-level business owners who have long-term businesses and have them move to Shopify. If you want to be intentional about it. And you can make real passive residual income for the term of their business. Matter of fact, I can log in. Can you guys see my screen? No, you can't. Let me go and share my screen. I'm gonna show you guys. You've never seen me post any link about Shopify. Right? But I'm gonna show you. Since 2014, I still have 17 people paying for something I did in 2014-15. One of them is still on Shopify Plus. One of them is on Advanced, and 45 are now inactive. So the total was what, 60 on this account at least. I have multiple Shopify partner accounts. 60, 70 referred people. One time, set and forget. 17 are still standing strong. So one of them is standing strong on Shopify Plus, which is Ming Lee, and two of them are in Advanced, which is like $300 a month. All right? So you guys get my point. There's so many monetization plays when it comes to affiliates. All right? Your Apple Watch, your Fitbit, your Whoop, the supplements that you buy, you need to find the affiliate link. I'm giving you these categories to make you realize, oh, dang, I could have been getting paid or at least get my stuff for free by letting people know who I buy my creatine from or my multivitamin from or my magnesium from, right? So we're not only looking to make money, we're also looking to save money. It goes both ways because a dollar saved is a dollar made in my eyes. Same thing with clothing. There's no way I'm spending $1,000 on a shopping cart and that I know that people are gonna like the clothes and not follow up with a affiliate. It's just wild. Same thing with my Amazon store, right? If you go to my Instagram page, you go to the link in my bio. My DMs I probably have like 50 people that's trying to get in this class. Where's that? Amazon. Okay, Amazon. Right? Amazon has an influencer partnership or you don't gotta be influencer. You just gotta be somebody who wants to let people know what products you buy, right? So all the products I buy, electronics, food, supplements, people are gonna ask me, yo, what do you do? What do you buy? What do you use? I don't have to do anything but send them this link, right? Depending on the category, right? Whether it's electronics, whether it's supplements, right? And anybody who buys from Amazon using my link, which they're gonna buy it anyway, right? If somebody takes multivitamin, you're gonna be taking multivitamins every day for the rest of your life, damn near, right? If that's obviously the reason why you're taking it for multivitamins daily, right? So if somebody's doing something daily, they're gonna buy it from you, through you, or through somebody else? Why not you? Starbucks is an empire because they're selling a product that people drink what? Daily. Water. Daily. So I can tap into these same daily plays without having to create the company. Just get a little piece here, and it adds up over time, y'all. Monetization. Right? Tripod. You go to a tripod, people see you in the gym with your tripod or wherever you have the tripod. They're like, oh, where you get the tripod from? Here's the link. You don't got to do any shipping. You don't got to do no manufacturing. You just share the what? The link. Share the link. You set it up one time and it's done. You got to manage it here and there. You got to check how much money is being sent to you. That's about it, y'all. That's about it. In these different categories. All right. I think you guys get the point. Let's move on. We have now the broker play. So the broker play is a little bit different from the referral play. The broker play is more so you're a middleman between two businesses, right? Two high level, high value parties, right? For example, every entrepreneur, every person living on this earth should have a black book. And in their black book, they should have a person's contact or multiple people's contact for each one of these categories. I listed them out for you. This is not my personal, this is a template. So when I meet people, they're typically going to fall in one of these categories. And I make sure that whenever I'm looking for a jeweler, I type in jeweler, all my jeweler contacts pop up. Why? Because when somebody says, yo, man, I'm looking for a new piece. Don't even trip. I got you. You're going to spend how much? 100,000? Oh, yes, that's exactly what I need to hear, my boy. I call a jeweler. He does a piece. Jeweler gives me 10%. That's the easiest $10,000 you can make. You guys get the point. For different industries. I link somebody up with a government official. They did a government contract, and now you're getting paid X amount of dollars. All you did was throw the alley-oop and broker a deal. Right? I'm not going to try to oversimplify because sometimes you're more involved in some situations than not. Like the gold brokering deal that I'm in, I'm not in it at all. I'm simply, here's the buyer, here's a seller. Y'all talk. When y'all done with your deal, let me know and take care of your boy. Right? Self-explanatory. I don't got to get too much into it, but that's the template. Next, but not last but not least, the community play. If you're doing everything on this list properly, you're going to naturally build a following, a niche. And when I say following, it doesn't mean hundreds of thousands of people. It just simply means there's people that look up to you, respect you, listen to you, are influenced by you, impacted by you, educated by you, activated by you. And what do you now have the obligation to do? Communitize, unify, support. You create and you volunteer to lead your tribe in a digital community, right? Whether it's a coaching program, mentorship program, group chat, whatever the case may be, right? That's what that is. And I created the checklist on how to do that, right? We don't got too much time. So let's open up for Q&A. It's been an hour and a half. Hour and a half already. All right, I know you guys, it's getting late over there. So let's go ahead and open up the mics for Q&A. I do want to say this. A lot of this information can be overwhelming, right? I don't want anybody to think that you got to do all this overnight. But what you do got to do is realize that you have help. So whether it's somebody else that's on this call or me directly, you will have help. You just need to put your mindset of who, not how. One of my favorite books. Dan Sullivan has a book called Who, Not How. You focus on who's going to help you, not how the hell am I going to do all this stuff. All right? And here's the thing. I guarantee you the work that you're doing right now is way more difficult and more harder than what I'm asking y'all to do if you're not already doing it. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and open up for Q&A. I'm not sure if you guys can unmute your mic, but you can raise your hand and I'll unmute your mic. If you can't, you do it yourself. Any throbbing questions, realizations, or even challenges? This is the opportunity to say, yo, Matt, you said we can do this, but I don't know, man. It sounds too simple. What if this happens? Go ahead and bring that up so we can massage through it. Or if you just want to give your feedback on that, that's cool too. I read I tried. You said you lost your sound. You guys can hear me, right? Okay, good. Okay. If you don't want to ask the question on the video, you can ask the question in the chat, and I'll answer it on there. Okay. Queen, you can go ahead and unmute your mic. Please let us know who you are, what you do, and how you provide value, and then share your question.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Hey, my name is Kadi CB, and I'm here in Los Angeles, California. I think it's a little earlier for me here, but I'm still jet lagged. So I just came back from Ghana, and I saw Mr. Matt at the airport.
Finally,
I know. I'm a health advocate. So I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, but I also come from a background of like diplomats and connections and stuff like that. So I'm working right now on how to monetize that and how to monetize my connections and how to bring people from the States and around the world to Ghana, Gambia, or Kenya. So that's kind of what it is. So my question is, that's kind of hot right now. Everyone's doing it and everyone's kind of coming from their perspective. But my perspective is going to be through health and wellness. And, so I'm trying to figure out, I created a plan of like the national parks in Ghana. But I guess I'm just trying to figure out how to position myself, how to position myself. I mean, I do sales. I know how to do all that, but
right.
I feel like my question is silly, but it's like I don't really know how to position myself in that. You know what I'm saying? I know you a short time, but I would love your feedback.
Yeah, for sure. So positioning is key. So based on our monetization framework, one of the plays is where you start, which is the story line, the story time play.
Mm-hmm.
You simply need to document your before and after, during and after story on your journey, so you can share it.
Okay.
That's it. That's the first step. If you haven't done that yet, it's going to be very difficult for people to resonate because they don't understand the connection between what you do and what they need. So that's why the storyline play is the most important. That's why I mentioned it first.
Right.
The moment that we share our story, it starts to attract the right people so we can naturally engage and organically engage with them on how we can serve them. For example, me sharing my journey on coming to Ghana, why I came to Ghana, where I'm at, how much I'm spending, what I'm doing, who I'm with. I'm just sharing that story. And then through that storytelling, people are naturally asking me questions, follow-up questions that lead to a different level of exchange, whether it's a one-on-one, whether it's me directing them to somebody, whether it's them getting into the playbook. That's the flow. So until your journey has been documented, I think that's the only thing that I would personally be focusing on, the storyline. Same thing with my joggers. Before, I haven't even posted about the joggers on my page as far as letting people know I have it available. But when I do, the first thing I'm going to do is tell the story on how I got the jogger. The story was real simple. This is where I started. This is where I was. And this is where I'm at. Who wants to join me on this journey?
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
My guy, Shaq. You can unmute your mic. Let us know who you are, what you do, and how you provide value.
How you doing? My name is $1 Billion Shaq. Y'all already know. So what I do is I do consult with students when it comes down to e-commerce, show them how to get in e-commerce and build their brand out when it comes down to e-commerce. But I do have a question when it comes down
Okay.
to my brand in particular. I'm in Atlanta,
Okay.
just to let
Okay.
y'all know. So how do I get my brand out like more? 'Cause I'm good on the social media streets when it comes down to social media and influencer marketing, but I'm talking about like on land, like on foot.
On foot. Okay,
I
cool.
I want to go like word of mouth, like go crazy with word of mouth.
Okay,
That way.
cool. First things first. Have you documented your story?
Ooh, man, I documented some of it. I got some of it,
See?
not all of it, but I got
I
some
don't
of it.
allow nobody to skate past the first step. I can talk about I can sit here and give you every marketing strategy, advertising, sales, branding play you can ever think of.
Right.
Facebook, all that, whatever it. The question is, first and foremost, have we documented a story? If the answer is no, our efforts, our marketing, branding, advertising, promotion efforts are going to be um what's the word I want to use? Hindered. They're
Right.
not going to be. You're not going to be able to shoot the full magnitude of that gun. All right. So I'll tell you why. This is very important. When it's time to go to those networking events, which was what I would recommend you to do. When it's time
Right.
to make offers to get on a podcast, when it's time to um, get on other people's networks, so you can have other people find out about who you are, what you do.
Mm,
What they're going to want to hear is your story. And if you're not prepared to tell your story, you're just going to be a salesman.
mm.
I went on David Shad's platform, and the word spread like fire, like a forest fire. After I told that story, oh, you that guy that got that Corvette stolen? You the guy who got 33 cars in 2 weeks? Word of mouth spread because I told a what story.
Story.
I packaged it up. I prepared it. If somebody interviews me on the street, they always tell me, "Yo, Matt, how do you do these random interviews so well? It's already packaged the story. It's already been written. You're just now turning on the camera for me to share the script. I already wrote the script. It's now time for me to act it. And no matter what the platform is, it's the same.
Right.
Whether it's on stage, whether it's on behind the camera, whether it's on one-on-one, whether it's on group chat, whether it's on Clubhouse, no matter where it's at, the platform still involves you knowing my story. I don't want nobody to even know what offers I have unless you know the story first.
Mm. I got most of it though. I ain't gonna lie. I got most of the most of the pictures, like when I first started and stuff like that, and when I started to gain more traction and all that. I do
Right,
have the
right,
pictures, but I just got to get
right.
the story straight.
Exactly. Because even think about it, even in a relationship, the first thing we're trying to get from that person is what's your story? Who you are, what you've done, what you've been through, where you lived. I'm trying to learn your story so we can build a relationship. That's what we're doing
Right.
in business. We're trying to build a relationship. Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah. So anybody moving forward, if anybody hasn't done that yet, don't even worry about nothing else. I
Bet.
promise you. We're just gonna overwhelm ourselves with a bunch of tasks. Because as you see in that document, there's a bunch of lines of tasks. It'll be overwhelming if you just keep looking at all the tasks versus focusing on the little section that you need to focus on, which is let me write down my story. So now the question is, I'm gonna frame this moving forward. We all need to put ourselves in this position. Do I have my story documented or do I not? The answer is no. How can I get that completed? More so, or actually, who's gonna help me complete my story? For those who do have your story written, the answer to this next step for you is this: how do I package this story and review this story so I can share it on any platform, which would then convert that audience's eyes from lookers to bookers? That's the only second question somebody should be asking. To be honest with you,
Mhm.
that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm not gonna be allowing people to ask any question no more. I'm gonna frame it on what question we should be asking. I've been doing this for years. I've been having these calls for probably 10 years now, and I just had the realization that we now need to frame the question that we need to be asking for each other. And the beautiful thing about this is this: once everybody on this call starts executing on this play, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be teaching it to others. You're going to be teaching it to your friends. You're going to be teaching it to your family. Because what? It's going to be by force because they're going to be asking you. And you're going to be tired of them asking you. So you're going to create a system to teach them. So put yourself in the future. I'm going to be, sooner than later, responsible for sharing the same information that I'm tapping into right now after I execute. So let me make sure I follow the same framework and the same flow that will not only ease my peace, but also ease their peace because they're going to be doing things in the right order. Because a lot of people do all the right things. A lot of things I mentioned today, you've done in some shape or fashion, right? You've brokered a relationship before. You've got paid for this before. You've done it before. You just never created a system fundamentally around it. So it's consistent. And that's what we're doing. That's what makes this so easy and simple. This makes it easier and simple. All right. With that being said, the questions moving forward, we can ask a question in as far as introducing ourselves, or you can challenge. you can challenge something. You say, yo, Matt, nah, the story ain't first. You know what's first is this. We can do that. Right? We can
Got you. I appreciate that, bro. For real.
we gotta keep it real, my guy. I'm just saying.
Yes, sir. Nah. You kept it real with me. Nah, you telling the truth.
Amen. And just so everybody knows, this whole process that I'm actually sharing with everybody, I used it for everybody that's on this call. That's how we're here. All right. So let's reel it back. I posted a story on how I made X amount of dollars via social media. Captivating. Oh, dang, man, you made $27,000 this month off of Instagram? God dang, how you do that? Cool. Got your attention, got your awareness. It matches up with everything else. Like if some random person posted my screenshot, you're like, no, that's cap. Whose screenshot did you post? That's what. But I did the back end diligence and consistency for you to trust the process, to inquire, to then say, okay, what does he have to offer concerning how he made X amount of dollars? Then I had the call to action, right? On the post. The call to action was, I'm teaching a class on how I did this. This Tuesday, next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, call to action, DM me, monetize, so we can have this meeting. That was the process. I'm just collapsing it so you guys know what the process looks like. Some people, again, your old conscience is going to say, that only worked for Maddie because he has X amount of followers. Don't listen. I promise you, don't listen. For every benefit or non-benefit, there's always a will and there's a way. As long as there's a will. Say you have 0 followers and you made 10, you did something extravagant enough to that people will want to learn from it, right? If you don't have the followers, what do you have to do? Partner with somebody who does. That's it. If you don't have the money, you partner with somebody who has the money. If you don't have the followers, you partner with someone who has the followers. You don't have the time, you partner with a person who has the time. So now the question is, how do you partner? Not only do we need business skills, soft and hard, we also need relationship skills. You don't have the confidence to randomly hit up somebody you don't know because you lack character development and social skills. So there's things that you can learn on the character development, personality development, social skills side to be able to reach out to people you don't know and say, hey man, I was just on your page. I really love your content. And I really think that the audience that you have will like my story. Here's a little snippet of my story. Here's some of the platforms that have already trusted me to share my story. And here are the financial benefits that came from it. And here's how you can benefit off of it. What can we do? I do that play to this day to people who didn't know me. I saw somebody's reel on Instagram. I really was inspired and motivated, and I loved her content. I went to her page, She's a girl's girl. She got this girls community. I said, yo, I really want to share what I have to her community. So I sent her a DM. Cold DM. She doesn't know who I am. I didn't know who she was an hour before that. So I sent her a DM. I could have had 0 followers in this process. Sent her a DM. I showed her my what I wanted to do, what I had to value, and she said, "Sure. Next Sunday at this time, I'm gonna send you the invite." It was so simple. I'm like, hold on now. Didn't you want to check my back? She said, "Trust me, I already did. I can tell from your energy, and I tell from our mutual friends that this is going to be a good situation for us." Right? Situations like that. It's all about the presentation and the positioning. And some people will say no. Some people will not respond to your message. It'll be a numbers game. That one that does becomes the building block for the ones that will in the future. The people that won't respond to your message about getting you on their podcast will sooner than later. I've seen it. I've seen people rise from the very bottom of the ranks to now being peers with those who they used to pay to be in those rooms. I've witnessed it multiple times. Right? And there's so many ways to do that intentionally. So, but that's a whole nother class and a whole nother conversation. All right. What else do I want to leave with? All right. So as far as the who, I definitely want to help everybody who wants to get this set up. So there's 2 ways to start to implement and activate anything that you've learned. DIY is the first step. It's always the first step. You do it yourself. So it's my job as a teacher to provide enough of those resources to be able to do it for yourself. Once you either decide or you try to do it yourself and doesn't work out, you move into the next round, which is you have somebody do it with you, done with you, right? That's the process. Either do it yourself or you do it with somebody else. So this is how the strategy that you can use. You can either reach out to fellow peers that are on this call and exchange contact information, DM each other, whatever the case may be, and say, hey, for the next 30 days, I'm about to lock in and document my story. I'm gonna choose what story I want to choose. I want to pull out and build a product around or offer around, and I want to partner with you to help interview each other or just hold each other accountable. Whatever the case may be, you're gonna be helping each other get it done with you. Whether it's with me, you say, "Yo, Maddie, I want you to do it," or with somebody else, or not. They don't have to be on this call. They can be somebody that's in your family. You actually train them on what you need them to help you with. Those are the strategies. Do it yourself. Have somebody do it with you, whether it's peers, classmates, friends and family, or the teacher, the educator that shared the information. And the next stage is obviously done for you. All right? Where you pay somebody and say, yo, I need you to do everything that this man put on this checklist for me. All right? Obviously, it's going to require some of your involvement because it's your story, but it's more white glove. Sit back on a chair, relax, ask me every question that this man said that you need to ask me so you can document my story. You think those biopics and those documentaries of these different people, they wrote down the script to their documentary? No, they sat down on a chair, somebody had a camera, and guess what? Somebody asked them questions. And based on those Q&As, the story was developed. They found the pictures to corroborate the story. They found the witnesses and friends that were there to corroborate the story. They found the enemies, corroborate the story, and now you have a documentary, biopic, autobiography, movie. That's the done for you. That's what that looks like. So whether you hire somebody to ask the questions for you and document it for you, whether it's me, whether it's somebody in the community, that's what that looks like. All right? You have to choose out of the 3. And if one doesn't work, you have to pivot. You can't give up. And based on your resources, things could be take longer or be expedited. Somebody who, let's talk about money. This is one of the biggest excuses that people make. Well, I already know I don't got the money to to pay somebody to help me, so I'm gonna do it myself. That's the logic. There's so many things so many issues there, and I'm gonna break each one down. The I don't have the money objection first has to be verified by understanding budget. You can get things done with $1 budget, and you can get things done with $1 million budget, or even $0 budget. Depending on what that budget looks like, it's depending on how much more work you may have to do. But you can still get it done and pay somebody. You can pay somebody in resources. You can pay somebody in trading and bartering. It doesn't have to be monetarily as well. You have in your cabinet drawer that you haven't worn that somebody would love to have in exchange for helping you. And because you haven't done a proper audit on the things that you have in your belongings, you didn't think about that. We got to barter money. So therefore, I have to do it this way. Can't do that. Especially when you haven't evaluated it properly. A lot of people actually don't have the money. You just need to get over the fear of spending it or using the word investing it. That's that part. And I'm just speaking as a friend, not somebody who has anything off. This is the format that we all have to understand and believe. All right. So really identifying if you can pay for something or not is the first step. And if you want to have something expedited, but you don't have the affordability to do so, you create creative ways to do it. I've done it so many times, even with having the money. I don't want to spend it, so we're going to create creative ways to get it. That's more fun to me. That's me personally. Anyway, some people say, I don't want to deal with none of that. I'm going to pay for whatever it costs. Right? There's some people that like that. Cool. They pay. Then we have the people who say, I don't have the time or the energy. I can almost guarantee you, whatever you're spending your time on right now is not bearing the fruit that you would need to invest to finish these tasks. When I documented my story for the Kente joggers, it took me 2 hours. It's done. Me thinking about how much time it's going to take probably took 2 hours. People making excuses. They take more time making excuses on not doing it than to get into it. But I get it. Human nature, sometimes we get overwhelmed with too many stuff, which is why I actually do recommend a preliminary stage before doing all this work, which is decompressing all the information in your head and tasks that you have to do. I usually do that first. That's a whole nother service. That's a whole nother class. But for now, recap. Either do it yourself, get somebody to do it with you, or make sure somebody can do it for you. As far as compensating people for those processes, is either you find the resources, you identify your budget to be able to pay for it, or you barter. If I was the president of the United States, I would absolutely be forcing people to do this. As a dictator, this would be an obligation for every citizen to document their story. Because once everybody documents their story, everybody's value increases. Misalignment, miscommunication, misinterpretation comes from people not understanding your story. Most of our problems exist there, including not making the amount of money that you could be making, because they don't know the story. They don't even know why you're selling that product. How'd you even get here? When I walk into a gym, I'm gonna give you this last example before we move on. I walk in the gym, I notice something that most gyms do not have, like 99%. Their greatest asset, everybody knows, as somebody who wants to help train people's bodies, is a before and after picture. That's the number one asset, AKA the story. A picture of what you look like before and a picture of what you look like after. If that is the most valuable asset, why don't you walk in progress? You don't. Why people know that online? They know that, but for some reason, it hasn't translated to those who are running physical gyms or physical business doing the same thing, helping people transform their body. You know why? It's the same reason why people aren't going to do the things I shared today. They're not used to it. Even though they see it's better, it makes sense. People making millions of dollars doing it. I know single gym trainers that are making more money than a whole corporation, making more money than LA Fitness per month. Think about that. Ashton Hall, how much money do you think this man made in the last 3 months? I know how much money I made with the little work that I do, the little attention I do. I can only imagine if he's running the plays right on the back end. I don't know how much he made as a fitness influencer over there. LA Fitness gets just as much traffic worldwide or globally or nationwide. You get hundreds of thousands of people. I don't think there's anybody in the U.S. that doesn't know about LA Fitness. So the notoriety is there. They're not lining up with the principles that we taught in this class, which is storytelling, how it started, how it ended, being a walking billboard, all the things that we mentioned. So when it comes to everybody on this call today, my goal isn't to get on these calls every week and share a new play. My goal is to share success stories. That's my goal. So I need to make sure the emphasis is on how do we execute now. Because I think it's very clear. I don't think it's just now a matter of doing it. From eliminating our distractions, realizing the value and importance of and priority of doing it as soon as possible, so you can be able to reap the benefits immediately. When I say immediately, I mean immediately. If I didn't have any other source of income in Ghana, I can make a livelihood selling pants, the joggers, with the walking billboard play. If I had no source of income, zero, if somebody challenged me and say, yo, man, you're not allowed to accept any other money outside of making money from your joggers, I'll say less, no problem. Easy work. Simply wear the joggers and tell my story. Simple, easy, $200 a day. I can do this. I can run this play as a homeless person on the street with a billboard sign, and I'm selling my story with no product or service. It's the same framework. So, any strong objections towards what we gotta do next? Because the assignment that I'm gonna try to influence everybody to have is the within the next week or two, send me your written story. I want to go as far as I don't want you in any other class or any service that I have to offer or participate until that is done as a prerequisite. I think that's the only way that people can see the seriousness of it, because that's what the colleges do. Colleges say before you can take this class, there's prerequisites that you must take. And even though you don't want to take it, even though some people don't even value it at the time, they do it because they know it's a prerequisite. So before we can sell, before we can create a product, before we make your website, before we set up your ManyChat, before we set up your Instagram page, before we set up all these things that people always ask me about, show me your story. You're gonna be hearing me say that a lot. Show me. Don't tell me your story. Show it to me. So for the next 90 days, that's what you're gonna see me focusing on, helping people document their story. And to the next phase, document their personality traits, their likes, their core values, their goals, etc., etc. All right. So that's the other play that you saw me post on my page. It's called the blueprint play. So the blueprint play simply is me helping you document your entire life. So you can have, I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can have a folder that looks similar to mine. And I'm gonna show you guys how powerful this is, especially in this age of AI. So I have this folder here, the CEO Manager folder. And in this folder, it has all my intellectual property, and it's public. All these folders contain my thought processes, my likes, my dislikes, my profiles, my value, my financial history, my stances, emergency contact, everything you can think of when it comes to my life. Every detail. If I was to rate my self-awareness on a scale of 1 to 10, based on what I know, without trying to boast, I would say a strong 9.5. All because I use these frameworks. To the point where I have photos categorized for each type of event and purpose. Detailed. Nobody would have any problem going to this folder to create a documentary for me. Zero problem. But I'm not doing it for a documentary. I'm actually doing it to help me move forward with my plays. So I upload these files to, you guessed it, ChatGPT. ChatGPT knows every detail about me because I documented. So when it's time to run a play or ask a question, hey, what should I do about this? My leg hurts. It's kind of swollen. What's the reason why? It's not going to give me some generic garbage. It's going to say, yo, Matt, based on the fact that I know that you weigh 200 pounds, you play basketball, you do X, Y, and Z, and you eat these things, here's the best recommendations for you based on those details. That's a game changer. Right? Based on me knowing you, this is the business that and strategy that you should use for your new endeavor. This is the speech that you should give on this day to this specific crowd. This is based on it having the full details. Self-awareness is the key for relationship building. And when it's time to build a relationship with somebody or something, they'll have all the data necessary for them to make a decision that doesn't waste anybody's time. Alignment comes with proper information. I have a folder that documents all the mistakes that I can remember that I have ever made in different categories. Spiritual mistakes, family mistakes, mindset, emotional mistakes. All these documents, they take time, but they can be drastically expedited with somebody allowing you to sit on a couch, chill, and then them simply ask you the questions and then recording your answers. Because guess what? You're having these conversations already. You just haven't documented it. This is important. I'm going to say this again. You're having these conversations and saying these things already, but you're repeating yourself over and over and over and over. And sometimes you're even missing key details because you're human and you forget certain parts. But when it's documented, you'll always remember the key pieces because your brain will pull that file subconsciously, even if it happened 20 years ago. That's how that process works. So not only is it going to help you with your personal life. It's going to help you with your relationships, platonically, romantically, and business. It's going to help you with decision making. It's going to be help you with every aspect of your life. So if I had to give a list of prerequisites, is to allow somebody to help you do that first part, which is the extraction, or we call blueprint play, and then pick out of your blueprint what story you're going to use to captivate an audience, educate them, impact them, and then make a living monetarily through their compensation. That's the process. Without doing too much. And when I say not doing too much, for example, you'll document your story. You're like, "Dang, I can teach about this. Dang, I can teach about this. I'm gonna teach about this. No, I'm gonna teach." You're gonna get. There's a million things that you can teach about. But when I make the most impact is when I focus on one, even if it wasn't the one that I believed was the most valuable. I'll give you a perfect example. When I was teaching about cars, you think I cared about cars? I do not care about cars at all. Zero. I didn't even start driving until I was 23, 24. I don't care about cars. I don't care. Can you guys tell? I don't care. I don't care. So I say that to say this. When it's time to teach about cars, I wanted to teach about personal development, business development. But was it sexy? No. You know what's sexy? Pulling up in a Lambo was sexy. During the pandemic, them finding out that they can get 33 of those cars in 2 weeks, that's why I blew up. I didn't blow up for any of the technical stuff I know, any of the design stuff I know. It's because of the Lambos, the Maseratis, the Vets, the Beamer, Benz, and Bentleys. So I had to focus on one thing because that's what generated the most attention and impact. And then I use that story as a vehicle to lead to the rest of the place. I didn't say, well, I'm not teaching about cars. I don't want to teach about cars. No, I said I'm going to use it as what? A vehicle to lead to the real plane. And that's what I did. We turned liabilities on wheels to assets making deals. We're not just talking about cars, we're dropping bars. That's what we always led those meetings with. So people understood this is bigger than Nino Brown. This is bigger than a car. The real issue is you, your personality, your character. It's not this car. This car is not going to fix the situation. Our character is. But if you want to come in here for that, cool. But you're not going to leave here with that. I guarantee you. That was the mindset. So with that being said, this is what we need to do. Again, as a recap. So we can end this call gracefully. So it don't be too long. One, we need to tap into the prerequisites. Creating our story, and the prerequisite before that is extracting our experiences and our memories. And again, you can do it yourself, do it with somebody, or have it done for you. I highly recommend finding whatever resources you can find to have somebody do it for you where you're sitting back. So it can expedite the process. You're sitting back, allowing somebody to ask you the questions and document it. And once it's documented and organized, you upload those files to ChatGPT, and you no longer need a coach or mentor. No, you no longer need a coach. You always need a mentor. Because ChatGPT will answer anything you could ever ask. I almost guarantee it. The mentor is different, though. The mentor is going to provide real life experience to that information and emotional support. But as far as strict education and information, stop bothering human beings for it. Just utilize a free tool for some people, if you want to have the paid one, to get answers to a lot of your basic questions. And then allow it to come full holistically through somebody who's actually experienced it. So you can have the emotional support behind it, the critical thinking behind it. That's my recommendation. I'm offering it to anybody who is looking to have the done with you side of this. For those who are trying to do it yourself, that this video and that document I sent you guys will allow you to do it yourself. You can look at that document and then say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm doing. If anybody has questions that aren't answered in this video or on that document, I am free for you to ask me those questions for free. But I'm going to tell you right now, based on my experience, 99% of people aren't going to do it themselves. You're going to try and give up. And I'm going to check in and say, what's up? You're going to give me some type of excuse. That's just how it's been. I probably taught this specific topic in different forms and variations to over 2 million people, digitally, in person, or through word of mouth. I can probably count on my hand how many case studies that I can confidently use to present to other people that they've ran the play. And I'm not blaming nobody. It's actually my fault. I take responsibility because I didn't create the accountability and support systems and hone in on that. Usually after meetings, I'll say, all right, appreciate you guys for tapping in. If you have any questions, cool. See y'all later. That's what I used to do. We ain't doing that no more. Let the record show that I mentioned the prerequisite play, and I offered to allow you to do 3 options. Do it yourself, do it with somebody, or do it, we have it done for you. All right. So for those who want to inquire on how to have it done with you and for you, you got to DM me so we can figure it out. We can be flexible. All right. That is all. Today will complete the conversation. This is going to be recorded. I appreciate the attendance, everybody that was able to come on live. Most people were in different places. Kendrick concert, work, sleep. They're going to get the recording. By God's grace, there should be no issue with this recording video. By God's grace, I'm going to be dead tomorrow. They're going to kill me tomorrow if this doesn't get recorded. But by God's grace, it's recorded. That link, this is very important, that link I sent everybody to get access to this class, the recording link will be on that document. So nobody has to hit me up for it. It's going to be, as soon as I have it, it's going to be on that document. So everybody can have access indefinitely for however long it exists. All right. Any other last questions? We went over the actual topic. We went over how to get it executed. We went over how to get this recording. Does anybody have any other follow-up questions? This is your opportunity to ask. You can raise your hand and I'll call on you. All right, cool. We don't have any questions. Alex, Alan, Aisha, I appreciate you tapping in. Everybody, even my man, Yano's in here. Appreciate you for tapping in, my guy. Net, Kat is in here. Kiana, Kurt, NJ, Madu, he snuck in here on the low. Look at him. Tracy. Oh, matter of fact, I said something. I got to take that back. Madu is one of the people I can count on my hand that actually ran the play. I can show you guys his folder. This man ran the play in full with no delay. His splash document, his personality traits, his likes, his dislikes, everything. Done data. Right now, he's working on another phase of the checklist. So shout out to Madu. All right. Appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Brian, shout out to you.